Allow me to welcome you back once again to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Kenya is full of political activities. Just in, Rigathi Gachagua has moved into court in his fourth attempt to block his impeachment. It's going to be dirty because Rigathi is not prepared to lose his seat. DP Rigathi Gachagua moves to court in effort to block impeachment. I want us to read just a little. In yet another move to stop his impeachment, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua on Thursday filed a petition at the High Court seeking the suspension of the impeachment motion lodged against him at the National Assembly. The Deputy President, through his lawyers, argued that the motion to impeach him was founded on deceit and misrepresentation of material facts. Gachagua, in his petition, also faulted National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula and Deputy Gladys Sholay for bias by publicly declaring their stand on the Deputy President's fate. According to the embattled leader, the motion to impeach him was politically orchestrated and designed to defeat the sovereign will of the Kenyan people expressed at the presidential election held in August 2022. Gachagua further claimed the move to dismiss him was unconstitutional and peddled to the public in a bid to achieve unjustified purposes. The second-in-command also accused the National Assembly of allocating minimal time for public participation, which he termed as grossly insufficient to facilitate any meaningful and reasonable public management. In his plea to the court, the Deputy President sought an order prohibiting the National Assembly from processing, passing, and transmitting to the Senate any resolution made from the motion filed on September 26. Gachagua's latest petition follows three other petitions he initially filed at the High Court that challenged his looming ouster. However, all of them were dismissed, paving the way for the tabling of an impeachment motion. Ladies and gentlemen, if you listened to my analysis yesterday, I had opined that Rigathi Gachagua is not going to go home very easily. And I told you that Rigathi's impeachment will finally end up in court. In fact, if there was any other court above the Supreme Court, Rigathi would even go there. He has started at the High Court. And this is, remember, this is the fourth attempt. He tried it 3 times to block the mentioning or tabling of that impeachment motion, but all of them were thwarted. And I want to believe that the courts wanted, the court never wanted to be seen as if they are interfering with the other arm of the government, which is the legislative arm. And I mentioned to you, because I'm reading this and I was like, did they copy paste the reasons that I had given? Number one, I told you that Rigathi Gachagua and his team was setting a stage for a legal battle when one of the members of parliament, the Marakwet West, I think, member of parliament, confronted Moses Wetangula that he had already taken a position, because Moses Wetangula, while in a function, a church function in, I think that was in Wote or somewhere in Machakos, said that, without mentioning names, that any person who is trying to play local politics rather than uniting the whole of the Kenyan people should be impeached. And he was, in a way, referring to Rigathi Gachagua. He had taken a position as a neutral arbiter. He ought not to have, gone that direction. Gladys Sholay mentioned, in fact, Gladys was even worse when she said that she was going to ensure that she deals with Rigathi Gachagua. So that alone was setting a ground for legal battle, and it has been mentioned there. I also mentioned, because Rigathi had mentioned that it was not going to be very easy that a person who has been elected by 7 million people can just be condemned to go home by some 300 people sitting there. And I knew that Rigathi was not going to take it lying down. In his assertion, Rigathi was saying that you cannot be sent home by just a few people and you were elected. He felt you were elected by many people. He felt that that will be trying to play around, trying to subject the sovereign will of the people to jeopardy. And that has been mentioned there. Rigathi is also saying that there is malice, because he's saying that the allegations peddled against him are peddled on fallacy, meant to paint him in bad faith. If you listen to those grounds, for those who watched my video, those are the same grounds that I had said, because Rigathi had said that it was not going to be very easy, he would move to court. But what do you think Rigathi Gachagua is doing? Because Rigathi understands very well that he has done this thrice and all the attempts were thwarted. You know, Rigathi is trying to show the people of Kenya that he is determined not to go home very easily. There are people who are now funding him. There are people who are now pushing him not to let go. And in a way, he's telling them that I'm also determined. Rigathi wants to halt in case the court will suspend this impeachment, because he's also saying, in fact, I mentioned it, that the time allocated for public participation is very minimal. And I knew that he would either go to court to say that it was minimal, or he would say that the people expressed themselves that they never wanted Gachagua to be impeached, but the National Assembly overruled the will of the people, just like they have always done in the other motions. You remember Finance Bill 2023 and Finance Bill 2024. So what Rigathi wants, in the event that he succeeds, if the court allows him, or the court stops, even for a week, this impeachment motion, Rigathi wants to do mobilization. He wants time to mobilize. And I know, because our parliament has always been accused of being corrupt, the money can, walk in these pockets. Because I have had allegations that William Ruto bribed members of parliament to impeach him. Even those who pended their signatures, some of them were paid. That is the rumor we are getting. And if that is true, then Rigathi is also moneyed. As I said, I know there are people who are sponsoring this. There are friends who are sympathizers who will tell him anything that you need, they will sponsor this. And of course, Rigathi is also a man who is very rich. So he wants time, mobilization, if bribery will be allowed, though it is illegal. But if that is the case, because we've heard that will happen. And that is why he needs more time. Rigathi also wants, well, that will be halted, then there will be a longer length of time to do the public participation. Already, he had released a video, another video that I did. If you just check the immediate video after this, Rigathi released a clip, a video, where he was telling Kenyans that uwe mzalendo, be patriotic. And he's telling people, don't sit in the house. Go out to your nearest station where you can give your views. And stand with Rigathi Gachagua, stand with Rigiji, because he's a truthful man. He works for the people. And he's telling the people, tell them that you don't want your deputy president to be impeached. So this is the determination that Rigathi has. And Rigathi, if Rigathi is going to be impeached and he goes home, it is going to be messy. I think psychologically he's not prepared to go home. He had psyched his mind that they would do it for 5 years. But now things are happening. And I know he feels very bitter because they campaigned with William Samoei Ruto. William Ruto charged him against his own brothers, against Raila Amolo Odinga. Now, when he realizes that these are the grounds that are now set against him, because they are saying he's tribal, he had said I don't know what, he feels very bad. And according to him, if you ask him, Rigathi would want to go home with William Ruto. And I know if you ask him, his opinion will tell you we either go home together or stay together. This is the fourth attempt, ladies and gentlemen, and the grounds are very clear. Those are just but the preliminary. I know they are setting up even a stronger case in the case they will impeach him, because William Ruto has got the numbers in the National Assembly and at the Senate. As it is, we wait and see. But it is not going to be very smooth, because Rigathi is not a pushover.